All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being part of this program. This class is dedicated to hospitality professionals, and it gives you a sort of crash course in digital marketing. All right. So this class today is going to be talking about the basics of digital marketing and how you can go about it. And the bottom line is increase in revenue for your business, whether it be a restaurant, it be a hotel, if it's ticketing that you're into, if it's travel and tourism that you're into. This is supposed to give you an idea on how to have a digital marketing strategy to be able to enable you get more people interested in your business, to have more bookings, to have more people signing up to either come to your restaurant or take advantage of your rooms or take advantage of your travel packages or your tourism packages. So that's what this program is all about. So first off, let me share my screen so that we can definitely get to see what I am talking about. So this is supposed to teach you the digital marketing fundamentals. Okay, so first off, I would like to reintroduce myself again. I'm Mr. Korede Olafumeho. I'm the CEO of Clever FX Technologies, and we're partnering with Kuzan Global to bring this training to you. Clever FX Technologies is an ICT and digital e-learning consultancy. We consult for organizations and we help them with their e-learning processes. We also set up their digital presence on channels or your websites or search engine optimization. That's what we do for companies. All right. So, and we're bringing to you this digital marketing fundamentals and strategy to enable or help you have a strategy for getting more clients online. So whether you are either a worker already in a hotel or a restaurant and you want to be able to improve your skills as a somebody who has digital marketing skills, or you want to be able to propose a digital marketing strategy for the organization you work for, or you want to do that for other organizations, or you just want to improve yourself in terms of whatever, because the truth about it is these digital marketing skills and strategies can be applied to all forms of businesses, not just the hospitality business. All right, so it's something that you can actually use in a lot of other businesses as well. All right, so let's get started. All right. All right, so let's start here. So first off, we're going to be talking about the definition of what digital marketing is. All right, then we're going to be talking about the online techniques used to promote your products and services. Okay, then we'll now talk about the key differences between the online marketing or digital marketing and traditional forms of marketing. And then we'll focus on measurable results. All right, so this is going to be the focus on what we're going to be talking about today. All right, so let's get to it. The first thing, of course, is let's talk about some statistics. Okay, let's talk about some key things you need to know about digital marketing. Digital platforms now account for 60% of global hotel distribution revenue. And this highlights the shift from online bookings the shift towards online bookings and the importance of robust digital marketing strategy. So gone are the days whereby it is solely by word of mouth that you actually decide to stay at a hotel or go to a restaurant. These days, especially if you are looking for an international market, you definitely need to be online. Okay, people are always on their phones. People are always scrolling. They're always trying to find out what's new, what's happening. And if it's a question of choice, they would also go online to find out. Okay, I personally, if I want to check out a new place or if I want to visit a new place, despite what someone may have told me about the place, I would still go online and check what are the ratings of the place. If I have a friend or if I have a relative that I want to put in a hotel, and I don't have one immediately close to me that I've gone to before, I would go online and check out what options are available. So if as a business, if as somebody that's in the hospitality industry, whether you are into restaurants or into hotels, or you're a travel agent, you're into ticketing, if you don't have an online presence, you're going to lose out on a lot of customers. All right. So let's move on. Now, hotels are now also implementing AI-driven solutions, and they have observed a 23% increase in operational efficiency. And this underscores the role of technology in streamlining services and enhancing guest experiences. Okay, so I know, especially within the Nigerian space, we tend to fall behind when it comes to technology, I'm sorry to say, because there are a lot of things that we can do to just make the experience of the people coming to our hotels so much better, okay, and memorable. I will give you an instance. I've had the opportunity to travel beyond the shores of this country, and despite the fact that I've stayed in several hotels in Nigeria over the course of my life, the first time I traveled to um, Istanbul in Turkey, I was supposed to go for a training. Then I was working for a telecommunications company, and they actually, sent me to Turkey for a training. And the hotel I stayed in, the first thing I noticed in the hotel was their energy saving technology, in the sense that it is where you walk that the light comes on. So if I'm walking along the corridor of a particular place, as soon as I pass a particular section, the light goes off. And when I enter a particular section, the light comes on. All this is done automatically. I also noticed that if I entered the room and I closed all the windows, immediately the AC comes on. It's an automatic thing. So you don't have to press any switch or anything. It comes on automatically. As soon as you open the window, the AC goes off. Now, why am I saying this? It was so memorable for me then that I'm still talking about it now. Okay. And that experience has stuck with me. The fact that, oh, wow, this is something new. This is something different. Okay. And since that time till now, this is years back, that memory has still stuck with me. So why am I saying this? Having digital marketing, strategies or systems embedded in your business will make your experience better. Okay, so in a situation whereby you have an AI-driven kind of solution where, for example, you are keeping track of your clients. So if a particular client comes in, maybe it's a different person at the front desk, but because you have created digital marketing systems whereby you're able to keep track of your clients, then by the time the person comes, whoever is at the front desk will be able to give a personalized experience. He knows everything about the person because it's already on the system, the person's behavior, the person's businesses, even family ties. It's possible to have that as a holistic personal guest experience, and the person feels way better by virtue of the fact that he has visited your premises or he has visited your business. Okay, so AI is the way to go right now, and we'll definitely be talking about what sort of AI solutions you can embed in your business. Okay, now things have even gone beyond that to what we call virtual reality. Okay, virtual reality or augmented reality, that is AR or VR. So these days, properties or business or hotels or restaurants, you can have a personalized experience. Okay, so people can actually see what your hotel looks like, without even having to come to your hotel. So you can have a virtual reality whereby it just looks at it's like a simulation. People are actually walking through your hotel. They are seeing the rooms, because usually when you go to a hotel, for example, the first thing you will ask is the room. You want to see the room. You want to see what the room looks like. So you go inside. The person will carry you upstairs. The person will show you the the bathroom. Will show you the rooms. Will show you everywhere. That sort of a thing. So that's what usually happens. But now you don't even need to do that. Right from your website or right from your social media platform, you can actually have a virtual reality experience or tour of your hotel. So right from the person's room or wherever the person is, you can now take a look and see what it is. And if it's attractive enough for the person comes and he pays. So he doesn't need to now, have your staff going around and showing them everywhere. All right. So that's how that works. So let's take a look again. Another statistics, a significant 75% of marketers, they utilize what we call generative AI for content creation. Okay, so which facilitates a personalized and efficient marketing campaign. So what does this mean? This means that if you want to now market your business, you want to market the hotel, or you want to market your restaurant, or you want to market business, and you want to make a post online, AI can help you come up with very sophisticated messages. Okay, a very good tool to use, for example, is ChatGPT. I'm sure you've all heard of it. ChatGPT is an excellent tool that you can use to come up with messages, to be able to send to your to create a sort of campaign to your potential customers. All right, and that's what AI does for you. So it helps do the thinking for you, basically. I will give some examples of how that is done. Okay, so those are some of the highlights and some of the statistics on what potentially you can do in digital marketing. All right, so at this point, I just want to do a check. I hope you are all with me. For those of you that have joined, are you with me so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's fantastic. Yes. All right, so okay, good. So let's forge on. All right, so now we're talking about the definition and the benefits. Okay, I personally, for my own business, I can tell you that coming online was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Okay, I have a history as an engineer and as an educator as well, and I can tell you the greatest profits I've ever enjoyed, running into the millions, has been because of my digital marketing skills. I have taken time to invest in myself. I have paid for courses that are close to 500,000 naira just to improve my digital marketing skills, and I have received return on investment 100 times over. So I can tell you the future is digital skills, is IT skills. Even if you're traveling abroad right now, the greatest advice you can give anyone who wants to travel abroad is learn IT skills, learn digital skills. That's not to say there's no place for other skills, but that is where the future is heading to. More millionaires are being made because of their digital marketing skills. Our comedians that you're seeing everywhere on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, it's all because of digital skills. They've learned the art of content marketing. They've been able to take their entertainment and market it to the masses. It is a skill. There's all digital marketing skills. All right. Even up to churches, up to mosques, they're all coming online. They are all marketing themselves. So regardless of the business that you have, whether it's a service you're offering or it's a product you're offering, you need to come online. That's where the market is. That's where people are. And you should be able to get the necessary skills to be able to market. So what is digital marketing? This refers to the use of digital channels, the platforms, the technologies to promote whatever product or service that you have and to connect with current and potential customers. Now, that keyword connecting is key. Okay, based on the online trainings that we've done or that I've done personally, I have a contact list of almost 12,000 people. And that's just the audience that I have, not to talk about the potential customers that I can reach. So imagine if you have a hospitality business, and besides the people that just visit your hotel from time to time, you still have a huge contact list of potential customers that have shown interest in your business. They may not have bought from you, they may not have visited you yet, but for the fact that they are just showing some interest is a very huge deal. Okay, so from a singular post you make online and people are liking it and people are commenting about it, all those are people that are already expressing interest in your business. They are potential leads that possibly can be converted into customers. So what are the benefits? Of course, having an online presence, whether it be having your own website, whether it being on social media, or whether joining a listing. Okay, we'll talk about listings. Then, of course, whether it's customer engagement, you have a two-way communication that is personalized. All right. Quite a number of you joined this group or you joined this class by virtue of an ad. Okay, you saw an ad online and then you joined and then you spoke with somebody. There was somebody that you had a chat with, and because of that chat you were convinced enough to join this program. So that communication is there. Okay, and that's a key aspect of being a digital marketer. You have a lot of people who are trying to be digital marketers but fail at communication. You should be able to communicate with people. You should be able to sell. Okay, so if you have a business and you're not able to really communicate the benefits of that business, digital marketing will be very difficult for you. However, the essence of digital marketing is to be able to make that aspect easier for you. So rest assured, there are lots of tools that you can use to enable to help you get better at that part. Then your digital marketing should be data driven. I think that's one failing that a lot of businesses have, and that's one of the big differences between African businesses and foreign businesses. Okay, because I've had the opportunity to work with both foreign businesses and also African businesses. And one of the problems with African businesses is they don't really work with data. They look at the general picture and they just make some plus and minuses. But for foreign businesses, every little thing they will drill down, they will find out every single aspect of the business. They want to know what percentage of males are coming to their hotel. They want to know what percentage of females, how much those males are earning, how much those females are earning. They want to know every single thing. The data is very detailed, and based on that data, they can now decide how they can improve their services. So if a hotel takes the time out to really find out who their customers are, what percentage of customers are in a particular industry, what frequency do they come, what sort of events are happening within the year that attracts more people to their business. Really drill down to the numbers and know exactly what percentage, how many, how much, how frequent. All those are data that you can use to improve your business. That will help you in creating a strategy to be able to channel the right marketing campaign to the right people. Okay, so it wouldn't make sense whereby you are doing a huge campaign at a time whereby most people will be sitting at home, or maybe a big event just happened around your hotel or premises and your digital marketing was nowhere to be found around that time. Okay, so it's always good to be able to have your data on point. Then, of course, have a multi-channel approach. Okay, so there are definitely a lot of platforms that you can use to advertise. We know there's Facebook, we know there's Instagram, we know there's TikTok, we know there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, and besides that, there are a lot of hotel and hospitality listings. Okay, when we talk about listings, there are already some companies that have created a database of hotels or businesses in one particular niche. So, for example, you have travel.com. That's a very popular one, and we'll be taking a look at some other listings as well. So these are the benefits generally of digital marketing. All right, so why does it matter? Of course, guests, they now search, they compare, and they book online. Okay, it helps you reach global and local travelers effectively. It enables real-time marketing, especially during events, holidays, or promotions, and it builds lasting relationships through loyalty and follow-up communication. All right, so that's basically the benefits of being in the hospital or having a digital marketing strategy. So quickly, we'll just talk about the key differences. Okay, I just want to run through all these basics. These are basics that you should know before we start going online to take a look at a couple of things. So, of course, TV, radio, print, and billboards. That's what the traditional way of marketing has been. And now we have the social media, we have the email, we have the search engines. Now, from experience, I don't know whether you've tried to run a radio advert recently, but it's quite expensive. The last time somebody reached out to me and said, oh, that he loves what we are doing, he wants us to advertise with his radio station. I said, okay, what was the price? For a 1 minute radio advert, he was talking hundreds of thousands, so the amount that he was calling was so high. If I wanted it at a particular premium time on radio, then this is the amount that I'll pay. The same thing goes for TV. The same thing goes for print and billboards. In fact, don't even get me started on billboards. Yeah, you should be talking about millions. Whereas with social media, it's relatively cheap. I can tell you, there are courses that I've marketed online. There are businesses I've marketed online. Sometimes I spend just 10,000 naira for 1 week, and the return I get on investment is like 500 times that. So I might just spend 10,000 naira in 1 week, and what I get back is probably 200,000 or 300,000 as my return on investment. That's just using social media. Email marketing, you need to spend more, but statistics have shown that email marketing always gives the best return on investment. But that one, you really need to plan for it. I'm sure you all have emails. And I'm sure you receive, once you subscribe for something for the rest of your life, they will keep on sending you different things concerning that business. All right. Then, of course, you have search engines. The biggest search engines we have right now, of course, are Google and YouTube. Okay, those are the biggest ones. ChatGPT is a competing search engine right now. So that's another good place to actually start. So that's the major difference. Digital marketing, you spend less. You don't spend as much as you would on traditional marketing. And the truth of the matter is, in as much as there's a huge market for radio and TV, it's not as popular as it once was. Most people are on their phones these days. I can tell you, I can't remember the last time I switched on TV. Said, okay, I wanted to watch whether it's NTA or any of those channels. If I'm watching anything at all, it's CNN. And 98% of the news I'm looking for, I can find it on YouTube. So I don't really bother. I cannot remember the last time I bought a newspaper or a magazine. That's my father's territory. My father is in love with that. So he still does that, but I don't. So, and I'm sure a vast majority of the new generation right now, they don't do all that. So if you are not into digital marketing, you are losing out on a huge crowd. Traditional marketing, of course, is one-way communication, while digital marketing is two-way. That's one of the biggest advantages of having a digital marketing strategy. You get to communicate with your clients. So even when your clients leave your hotel, or they leave your restaurant, or they have taken advantage of your travel services, you still get the chance to interact with them. If you've made sure that they are following your social media pages, you post something, they comment, they like, they share, you are still having an interaction with them. It's an engagement. So you are always in the forefront of their mind. Okay, so if you have a social media page or you have a website, you have to make sure it's active enough to ensure that your customers are never far away from your business. All right. Then for traditional marketing, it's always hard to measure the results. For digital marketing, it's easy to track. All right. Traditional marketing is often expensive and broad targeting. It is static and time limited, while digital marketing is more cost effective. It is more precise, okay, and then dynamic and real-time updates. All right, so these are the key differences between traditional marketing and digital marketing. Okay, so are we together so far? I hope we are still following.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah, we're doing fine.
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay. All right. So as I said, this is just the basics, the theoretical part. We'll still go online to take a look at a couple of things. All right. But I just need you to understand these basics and the importance so that by the time we get into the nitty-gritty of it, you would fully appreciate it. All right. So what are the key metrics to monitor? So if you want to actually develop a marketing strategy for your business and you want to be able to, effect that or do that effectively, what are the key things you must monitor? First of all, your website traffic. So firstly, if your business does not even have a website, I feel that's a big loss, or that's a big No, you should have a website. And once you have a website, it is very easy to track and know how many visitors you're having to your website. I know a lot of hotels try to save costs by just, plugging into listings. Okay, listings in the sense that you have some sites. Okay, I think at this point, let's go online. Let's go to, I know one of the popular ones in Nigeria here is hotels, Nigeria. Okay, let's just search hotels, Nigeria. Okay, good. Hotels.ng. Okay, so this is one of, you can see as soon as I typed in hotels, Nigeria, the first website that comes up is hotels.ng. So this is not by accident. The fact that they are the first link that is showing up on this page, it's a deliberate effort. All right. And the truth of the matter is most people that search on Google, they don't go beyond the first page. So if you come to the bottom of the page, you see you have a lot of numbers here. This is the first page, second page, third page, 90% of people don't go past the first page. Once they just go to the first page, they see what they're looking for. That's it. So being on the first page is like the holy grail of digital marketing. If your business can make it to the first page, that's fantastic. So, but let's take a look at it, hotels.ng. All right. So if we click on that, okay, this gives a list of different hotels in different. So you can see for hotels in Lagos, you have 3,562 hotels. So they have so many hotels that have subscribed with them. Now, definitely as a business, you should be here. Okay, you should have a listing on sites like this, whether it's travel, whether it's hotels or it's restaurants, any listing that you can find, please join, please register. Okay, all this help with people trying to find your brand. It would be nice if people are looking for you specifically and then they see that you are in so many places. Okay, so that's very, very important. But the problem with sites like this is that it's easy to get lost in the crowd. Obviously, if you are a hotel in Lagos, for example, particular about the area, but even then, within the area too, I'm sure there are a lot of people within such a space. It's easy to get lost within the crowd. So let's say I'm looking for, let's say in Lagos, I'm looking for a hotel around Ikeja, for example. Okay, so and I say find hotels. Let's see. So you can see just around Ikeja alone, we have 361 hotels. So it's easy to get lost with listings. So it is very important. You should have your own website, which you can push out and market as well. So you can combine both efforts. You're on the listings and you also have, your own websites that people can come and find out more about. Okay, because with your own website, the person is not really looking at anything else. But when it's here, you can see he's comparing prices with everybody else. So if you're unfortunate to have a hotel close to you that has cheaper prices, then most likely he might go to such a place. Okay, you can see a hotel here that is offering 150K. There's another one offering 27K and all that. So yeah, okay, so that's about the website traffic. So you should have a website. Then conversion rates, definitely that's something to easily measure. That's the quickest way to know whether your digital marketing strategy is working or not. Since you implemented your digital marketing strategy, how many people have booked? Has your bookings increased? Have they reduced? Definitely when your customers are coming into your business, it's always good to do a KYC, know your customer, and there should be a section whereby you should get to find out how did they hear about you. Okay, there are lots of businesses that have gone to hotels and restaurants that they don't really ask that question, and that's really not nice. You should know what your marketing strategy is working. Is it working? How did they hear about you? Was it somebody that told you? Did you find out about us online? It's always important to ask these kinds of questions. So if you have staff, they should actually be trained in ways to ask that question, or it could be a digital way of asking or something they can write on paper. Okay, I know there are some hotels that I've gone to where when I'm booking and I'm putting in my name and my details, that section is there. How did you hear about us? Okay, and that's very, very important. Then engagement. Engagement is key. A lot of hospitality business neglect these aspects. If you have a social media page, you need somebody that is dedicated to posting on that page to try to get likes, whether through paid likes or paid ads or through organic ads. And it's important that there's a constant form of information being posted out there. And this is not just for hospitality businesses, all businesses out there. When I started out in the digital marketing space, I started out with schools. That's where I started with. And I realized that there were a huge number of schools who had social media platforms. They were on Facebook, but they only post like once a year, maybe when they're holding a graduation. That's the only time they will post. And graduation is usually once a year. Or maybe they're having December celebrations. That's when they might even post. And that's a huge minus for such institutions. So as a matter of fact, I started with schools. So constant posting always increases customer loyalty. It gives them insights to your business. It cements the genuineness or the efficiency or the professionalism of your business in their minds when they are constantly seeing stuff. I'm very sure each and every one of you, there are certain businesses or there are certain pages that you follow constantly. Okay, because of the level of engagement you see and you like and you share and you make your comments. So apply the same to your own business. All right. Try and come up with content. We'll talk about content creation. The key thing is to make it informative and also entertaining. Those are the two things that sell online. If you can pass information across and you can make it entertaining, you will definitely get responses. And then, of course, you have cost per click, okay, or acquisition. We call that CPC or CPA. Usually, if you're going to run paid ads, and that's a strategy I'm very fond of, but not everybody has the capacity for it, definitely you need to consider how much you are spending for everybody that clicks on your ad. All right. So, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Facebook ads. We'll talk about Google ads as well. We'll talk about YouTube ads. We'll talk about LinkedIn ads. We'll talk about all the different kinds of ads you can actually do online. All right. So, what are the benefits? Definitely, we know increased online booking. I've talked about that. You appear on Google search, Google Maps, booking platforms. So, for example, let's go back online. For example, if you are a business, for most businesses, okay, Google gives you the advantage of what's the word now? Also showing up on their Google search engine. So there's something called Google My Business. So if you are registering a Gmail account and you have a business, you can actually sign up with Google My Business, and Google will sort of create a special section for anybody that searches for your business. So, for example, let's assume we do Federal Palace Hotel. Sorry, I'll be talking about this hotel a lot because I worked in this hotel for a long time. I was one of the telecommunications engineers there, so I knew a lot about that business. So Federal Palace Hotel in Lagos, all right? So this hotel, so you can see besides what is showing up here, on the right-hand side, you can see there's a special section that was created for it. And you can see there's a lot that's shown. You can see there are a lot of reviews. Now, these reviews, for the average Nigerian, maybe they don't really take note of reviews. At least that has been my experience. Though, of course, the average African is beginning to take importance to that. But for the Westerner, Google reviews is very, very important. Now, a hotel like this that has up to 7,000 reviews, this is a very huge plus for this hotel. And if you click on it, you can actually see all the reviews, everybody's comments or statements. So let's take a look at that. Okay, you can see 5-star reviews, so many, 4-star. I think the 2-star and the 1-stars are very, very low. Okay, and they are also registered on Trip TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is a very good listing website. So we'll be talking about all the different listings that you should be part of. Okay, all these are the kind of sites you should go to, especially if you are looking towards having an international audience. You never can tell when somebody is traveling from abroad or from anywhere and is coming towards your own particular area. You never can tell. So it's good to have this thing there. So let's scroll down. You can see people's reviews. Let's take a look at the most recent ones. This was a month ago. This hotel has made significant improvements. The staff is friendly, creating an enjoyable and welcoming experience. Okay, he gave 4/5. This person gave 5/5. Excellent stay at the impressive Federal Palace for 7 nights. UK traveler on business. My room had an amazing view over the huge gardens and the lagoon. The bed was comfortable and the air conditioning unit was powerful. So you can see these are testimonies. Okay, so you discover that if you have this as your testimony sheet, as your review sheet, your marketing, you don't even need to do too much marketing. All you need to do is just copy and paste all these testimonies and send it to people. That raises people's trust in your business. You can see, so you have 7,000 views worth of all these reviews. Let's take a look at one more. Benjamin was great. I'm sure this is one of the staff. He helped me check in and gave me the best details and tips when he dropped up my bags in my room. He should be promoted. The rest of the team did great as well. Service to the room was prompt and very professional. Best service in Lagos. Now, if you have something like this, you shouldn't be surprised if a hotel like this keeps on thriving. Okay, because obviously they have a lot of people that are saying positive things about them. Okay, so that's where having solid metrics and having a digital presence works. Okay, it really helps to bolster your business. It helps to ensure that people keep coming back and the visibility is there and is on point. All right, so you are also 24/7 available for guests. So in as much as, yes, you have staff that run round the clock, especially for hotels, because it's hotels that usually have that 24-hour kind of service. But even beyond that, you will discover that you're always engaging with your clients at any given point in time. Now, let's assume you're even having a restaurant and your restaurant closes at a certain time. Maybe it closes by 6 or it closes by 7. But you have a sort of booking service. People can order for food. So let's say somebody wakes up around 3 o'clock in the morning and it's like, man, he really plans on eating something maybe around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock when the day breaks. He can still go on your website and he can still book. So by the time your staff comes in the next day and they check online, they say, okay, so person has booked for this at certain time. So 24 hours of the day, people can always engage with your business, whether you have somebody physical or not. The same thing with your travel business. Okay. In fact, if it's even in terms of consulting, asking questions, you have what we call chatbots. Chatbots now are sort of AI customer service people, whereby any question that somebody wants to ask, a chatbot can respond to that person. So you don't need to have somebody physically responding to a call. The chatbot is there. He asks a question. The chatbot already has an idea of every kind of question that somebody is going to ask. So he already has a ready-made answer for that person. Okay, a very good example is even your banking system. If you've ever had a problem with doing transactions online, once you call the customer care, the first thing that will respond to you is the customer service voice, the automated system. It tell you, okay, if you have social problem, click 1. If you have social problem, click 2. So these are the kind of things you need to implement into your business to make things easier. Okay, so you may not need to hire a customer service person to be online 24 hours of the day. An AI chatbot can help you do that. Another reason why this is important is because people work in different time zones. As I've said, if you're also targeting international clients, then definitely you know that their time is not your own time. The time you are fast asleep might be the time they are wide awake, and the time that they are asleep is when you are wide awake. So at the time they want to get in touch with you might be a time whereby most of the staff are out. having your digital tools in place will help them to still find out more about your business and engage. All right. So, as I've already explained, builds brand trust, and loyalty. Okay, you can share your customer stories behind the scenes, the testimonials. You can respond to feedback and reviews quickly. And this is very important because it's not as if it's always going to be rosy. Definitely somebody might come and might have a negative experience. I will give a good example. In fact, let's go online. If some of you remember, there's this lady, this very popular lady who's into I can't believe I've forgotten her name. She won the Guinness Book Records for cooking. Sorry, I can't remember. Can somebody remind me? She did okay, Guinness Book for cooking. Guinness Book for cooking, Nigeria. Okay, Hilda Baci, yes. Now, exactly, Hilda Baci. So, recently, or I think it was a couple of months back, there was somebody who complained about her food. Okay, she went online and she was like, she bought some food. How much did she even buy there? Was it like 60K? I can't remember how much. Okay, Hilda Baci. Let's search for that because I just want you to understand how important, having an online presence and engaging with people. Hilda Baci complaints about food. I know it was a big issue. Okay, a customer posted a video on Instagram complaining about the size and quality of a pepper soup purchased from Hilda Baci's restaurant, valued at 6,000. Now, listen to what Hilda Baci did. She responded by apologizing and offering a 50,000 food voucher to the customer as compensation. So can you see what she actually did? She knew the power of having an online presence, and her response was awesome. Okay, anybody who was thinking negatively about her restaurant before, now they're like, oh wow, her response was so, because now the person can eat 50,000 naira worth of food at her restaurant. Anytime the person goes there, 50,000 naira worth is available. If you can't finish it in one go, you can come back again and still, place an order. And this is the kind of customer relationship you should have with your clients. Okay. Now, most people don't usually complain online the way she did. Of course, Hilda Baci is a very popular and known figure, and that's one of the dangers, of course, of being popular online. But the rewards are way better than the negatives. Obviously, Hilda Baci's restaurant, she's making a whole lot of money. If just for a plate of pepper soup she's charging 6,000 naira, you can imagine how much she's charging for other dishes. Okay, so this is the importance of engaging with your customers. All right, some people may come to your restaurant and they are not the type of people who would want to complain to you face to face. They may say, oh, this is the last time I'm coming there. But if you are reaching out to them to find out, okay, how was your experience, in an informal online kind of setting, whereby he's not really talking face to face with someone, and the person actually gets to open up and say, oh, this is what went wrong, this is what went wrong, and you actually take it to heart as a brand, you can always improve. And that's the key of beating your competition. When you're always improving, you're always trying to be better, you're trying to keep your customers, you're always engaging with them. Okay, so it's very important that you can keep on with that. Okay, and then of course, cost-effective targeting and remarketing. All right, so digital marketing allows you to promote your services to the right people without wasting money. This is very important. Okay, so let me show you something. This is my Facebook. I run a lot of ads for myself and for businesses as well. And one of the beautiful things about running a Facebook ad is that you can be very specific in terms of who you want to market. So for example, I'm based in Abuja, for example, okay, and I want to run a specific ad. So let me show you what my backend looks like. This is the Facebook, the backend of Facebook. Okay, where if you want to run an advert, this is what it looks like at the back end. Let me quickly show you. Sorry, once again, let me check. I hope we're all following so far. Are we together? Hello, are we together?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Moving too fast. I hope I'm not moving too fast.
No.
Okay.
No, you're doing
All right.
fine. Okay with
Okay.
this. It's just fine.
All right. All right. That's fine. All right. So let's take a look at the back end. So I will definitely be showing you if you do decide to run a Facebook ad. Okay, I will definitely show you how that can be done. So for example, this is one of my Facebook accounts, my advert accounts. And I just want to show you how specific you can be in terms of running your ad. Because if you do run a radio ad, for example, the radio is a huge and a broad ad. So anybody listening to the radio, regardless of the area, would definitely listen to it. But it's not really a targeted thing. So, for example, if you look under campaigns, you can see these are all the campaigns I've run. There are so many different programs I've run over the years. Now, the most recent one which I ran was for a safety course, a safety program. Okay, there was a safety training which I was facilitating, and I specifically wanted some certain states. So I targeted specific people in some specific show you. Okay, because I realized that unfortunately too, for Facebook ads specifically, the northern part of the country doesn't seem to respond well to ads. I have no idea why, but whenever I've advertised and I've covered the entire country, the kind of feedback I get from the northern section of the country doesn't seem to just work well. There are a lot of people who are just clicking for clicking's sake. They are not really interested in what the product is. So I target it to be very specific. So if you can see my screen, you can see these are the locations I targeted, okay, for people into safety, okay, and I specifically put Ebonyi State, and I even specified the level of kilometers, okay, how wide from the specific point that I wanted them to, or I wanted the ad to reach. So all the people within that specific region will see my advert. I put FCT, I put Benin, Edo State, I put Enugu, I put Kaduna State, Lagos, Ogun, okay, Akwa Ibom, Ogun State again. I put Imo State, Port Harcourt, Delta State, Bayelsa. So these are the specific places that I targeted. And you can see Facebook gave me an estimate that said, okay, based on what I've put in, I can reach about 5,000 to 15,000 people every day. So Facebook will do their best to ensure that up to at least between 5,000 to 15,000 people will see my advert. And then also, I specified their age. I wanted the advert to be shown to people between the age of 25 and 65. I also specified their gender. I said, okay, all genders. So why am I saying this? Because if you decide to run an ad that is gender specific, you can do that here. If you want to run an ad that is specific for a particular age, then you can do that as well. Okay, and you can specify which particular area. So let's assume you are even in a place like Lagos, for example, and you are even within a place like Ikeja or even Lekki, and you want to just target the people around Lekki, you can do that using Facebook ads. Okay, Facebook helps you with that. Now, Facebook even goes as far as what we call demographics. That means interest and behavior. So depending on the behavior of people. So let's assume I want to target people that travel, for example, or people that plan on traveling, or people that have expressed interest in traveling. And then I say, okay, travel. So it's going to bring up all the, you can see frequent travelers. I don't know if you can see my screen, but I'll read it out to you. All those who are frequent travelers that are on Facebook, there are about 2.4 to 2.9 million people. Okay, you can see this is under behaviors. So Facebook knows the behavior of every single person that is on Facebook. So don't just think that, the fact that you're on Facebook, you are not being studied. Everything about you is being studied. All the things that you click, all the people you chat with, all the channels you go to, all the groups, all the pages you join, every single thing that you are doing, the AI on Facebook is studying it, and they've put it into a database. Okay, you can see frequent international travelers is about 1 million to 1.2 million. Returned from traveling in the past 2 weeks. So all those who have returned from a trip in the past 2 weeks, Facebook has an idea, and that is about 288 million to 339 million. Okay, sorry, the other ones were 2 billion. All right, so what is the point I'm trying to make? Facebook has the data. They know how everybody is behaving, and if you pay them for a certain fee, you will be able to get in touch with those people. They'll be able to see your ad. I'm sure each and every one of you've scrolled through Facebook, and as you're scrolling through Facebook, you will see an ad will suddenly pop up. And that's what Facebook does. Once you pay them, so in my own case now, for this particular ad that I was running, this safety ad, let me show you where I put how much I set. Sometimes I set it, the minimum amount I think you should be around 5,000 naira. Okay, you can see my daily budget for this ad was 5,000 naira. All right, and I ran it for about a week or 2 weeks. So let's say a week I spent about 35,000 naira, but the amount of money I gained back was 5 times this amount. Okay, because there were people who came, who joined, they loved the program, and they paid for certificates, they paid for the training, and I made money from it. So it's the same thing for your business. All right, once you set it, you can be very specific in terms of your targeting. You can be very, very specific, and it's very cost effective. That money now, I cannot use it for radio, I cannot use it for TV, I cannot use it for even a newspaper ad. There was a friend of mine who has a newspaper. He said he wanted me to do an ad on his news on his magazine. He was asking me to bring 100,000. That 100,000, if I use it to run my Facebook ad, the amount of people I will get will be much more than his magazine. So that's some of the advantages that you have here. All right. So at this point, we'll talk about the digital marketing channels. After these channels, we'll definitely pause today. I know it's not 2 hours, but I don't want to load you with too much information. The slides for this particular class, I've definitely shared with you so that you can also go through it at any given point in time. And then, of course, we'll have room for questions. So what are the digital marketing channels or techniques that you should have? Okay, definitely you should have what we call search engine optimization. So like I design websites. I've designed websites for a variety of organizations. I've designed e-commerce platforms. I've designed blogs. I've designed business websites, okay, for different organizations. Now, there are certain things that you must do within the website to ensure that when people are searching for certain keywords, your website comes up. And I think that's another mistake a lot of business owners make. So they design websites, but they don't implement what we call search engine optimization. There are certain things that you must do to make sure that your website ranks on the first page. I've already talked about that. The first page is where most people look for what they want to look for. They hardly go to the second page or the third page. So if you are able to ensure that your website shows up on the first page, then you are definitely in for business. People are most likely to come to your business when it's the first thing that they are seeing on the Google search engine. So, for example, use local keywords and create a blog post like top 5 must try dishes in Lagos to drive organic traffic. Okay, so this is another strategy. If you have a website, you should have a blog and you should have somebody responsible for posting things on that blog. That is what keeps the website active. I know of friends of mine who are millionaires just by blogging. Okay, well, you've all heard of Linda. You've heard of Linda EKG. I'm sure most of you should have heard about her. How did she make her money? It was through blogging. But it's not just that. There are certain things. So, for example, if I want to, let's go to Google, for example. Okay, and I say the best restaurants in Ghana. Okay, let's say the best restaurants in Ghana. Okay, let's see what comes up. Now, you can see the first one that came up is TripAdvisor. Okay, TripAdvisor, of course, is because they already have a huge database of people who are, on their platform. So the ranking is going to be very high. But now this is another very good one. The world's 50 best restaurants. The best restaurants. Now, this is a blog post. The website is actually the world's 50 best, but you can see because of those keywords, best and restaurant, this one came up as well. Let's still scroll down. The top classy restaurants in Accra that define luxury. All these are keywords. Now, the website is actually the Monarch Residencies, and you can see blog. I hope you're all seeing this. Please, can you see what I'm showing you?
Yeah,
Hello,
I can see it.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, good. So you can see.
Yes.
So you can see this hotel, because I'm sure this is a hotel. Let's check it out. The Monarch Residencies. Let's check them out. Okay, the Monarch Residencies. So you can see this is a hotel, but they've used their blog to be able to stand out. So let's check it out. This is the blog page, but let's see the actual website. So you can see luxury apartments in Accra. Okay, so it's not necessarily a hotel. They sell apartments. So let's see. Okay, we offer premium properties. Okay, good. So they're into properties. All right, but they've been able to use their blog to capture these keywords. So anybody who's looking for the best restaurants in Ghana, their blog, because their blog is active. Okay, and this blog, mind you, was posted when? 30th August 2024. Well, anybody now in 2025 who is still searching for this, you can see they are still I've never heard of them before, but because of this blog. So that's the power of having an active website. Number one, you should have a website. If you don't have one, you should get one. Number two, your website should be active. Okay, always post constant, because the more you post and the more you take time to have a solid SEO, that is what raises your ranking on Google and you end up on the first page. Let's take a look at another one. You can see this is Timeout. This Timeout sounds like a restaurant. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. Okay, Timeout. Okay, what do they do? Hotels, restaurants. Okay, this looks like a news blog. Okay, so they're just talking about different places. Now, this is also very important. So you see all these channels or these sites that talk about news, reach out to them. Okay, find out what their prices are, because for some of them you pay them, for some of them you don't need to. But talk to them, know those that are ranking high on Google and discuss with them. So, okay, please, we want you to talk about our restaurant. If there's a price involved, have a budget for it. We'll still talk about budgets. All these are part of marketing, and this is what helps your restaurant come up. So this particular blog post now, restaurants and cafes in Accra. So if it's a listing, then you should show up here. Best for local cuisine, best for international cuisine, best for a quick snack, Accra's cheap eats. Okay, let's look at this Accra's cheap eats. Let's see what that will bring. Accra's cheap eats. So, okay, Barcelos chicken. All right. Katawo Dieso. Okay, this is another place. There's a street store, Antimoni's. Okay, now it's possible that the person just on his own decided to just write about them without them even knowing. Okay, and it's possible that they actually reached out to us, okay, write about us. But regardless of what it is, it raises your branding, it increases your branding. You can imagine if you have like 50 different news outlets or websites that are talking about your business, there's no way traffic will not increase. There's absolutely no way. All right, so that's about blogging. We'll still talk about that in detail. Okay, let's go back to our slides. So search engine optimization, that's what we were talking about. All right, so you need a website, have a website, then make sure that SEO is implemented on your website effectively. All right, then the second thing, of course, is your social media marketing. Okay, so you promote your restaurant on platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Visual platforms are ideal for showcasing your dishes, your dining experience, and your customer interactions. All right, and you can post high quality photos of your signature dishes. You can share customer reviews. You can run targeted ads to attract food lovers in your area. Okay, so it's very, very important. So let's take a look now. I'm sure, though I've never tried to search her page before, but let's see. Let's see if Hilda Bachi's Facebook. Okay, let's ask what is her restaurant name first of all. Hilda Bachi's restaurant name. So let's find out. Okay, My Food by Hilda Bachi. Okay, My Food. So I think that's probably the name of her restaurant. So now you, first of all, we talked about Google, her Google My Business. She has registered on it. She has 141 Google reviews. Okay, her address, everything is there. Okay, popular times. Okay, they even have a sort of analytics to show when it's quite busy and when it's not. So, but let's take a look at this. She has her Instagram page, 1.2 million followers. Okay, let's see. All these are Instagram. She has a TikTok page. Okay, she has 418,000 views. Okay, on Facebook, she has 760 reactions. I'm sure this is just to one of her posts, or even I think that is even somebody's post about her. Okay, that is even somebody's post about her, not even her own. Okay, but let's take a look at her own page. So I'm doing this to show you that definitely having your Instagram page or your Facebook page or your TikTok is not a question of maybe. It is a necessity. If you want your business to be visible online now with the current generation or environment that we have, you need to have your presence online. So you can see she has 1.1 million followers. She has posted almost 2,000 posts. Okay, concerning her restaurant. Okay, International Workers' Day. Okay, how should be our May 1st? I guess she must have posted something there, and you can see her stuff.
That's why an accent. See, I'm from the South. It's one of the most beautiful things come out of my mouth. And I will say it just as soon as I come out the house. So I might as well give them something to talk about.
So you can see that. Okay, so you can see it's entertaining, and she is also giving you a backdoor view into her business. Okay, right now I can't see how many. Let's see how many views or how many people have liked this. I'm sure there's so many people that have liked this, even though I can't see it right here right now. Okay, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot. A lot of people would have liked it. Okay, and then what's her most recent post? So let's see. Oh, okay, she's doing promos for her business. So you spin and you win. Okay, free snacks, free drinks, free meals. Okay, so all these are marketing strategies. All right, so there are certain days I'm sure she does this. So you come in and then you spin the wheel and then you get a free meal, a free snack, and all that. So, and this can be applied in all businesses. Maybe there are certain days you've decided that, okay, customers that come on so day, if they spin it, if you have a hotel, you can say, okay, they have a free night stay or just something free. Maybe they are staying in your hotel, but they get free meals. All these are marketing strategies. But for the fact that she's putting it online, you can imagine this single thing that she posted, 1.1 million people will watch it and they will see it. And they will know that, oh, okay, if I go to this restaurant, who knows, I might be lucky and I might eat free food on that day. Okay, so these are all digital marketing strategies and you should have one. Okay, if your business does not have one, you should have one. All right, and the good thing about being on social media is that you can go and study what other people are doing, find out what works. Okay, as they say in Nigeria, follow who no road. So there are businesses that are succeeding. There are hotels that are succeeding. There are restaurants that are succeeding. Go and check them out. Check their social media pages. Find out what they are doing. Steal some ideas. There's no harm in stealing. You steal those ideas, apply them to your business. You can adjust them as you see fit or as your budget can carry. Okay. Because definitely, if it's going to hurt your bottom line, there's some marketing that you shouldn't do. So be wise or be strategic in what sort of marketing strategies you want to apply. But you test it out. The good thing with marketing is you can always test it. You'll find out what works, what doesn't work, and you keep on moving. Okay? And you can see, I'm sure we'll talk about this too, influencer marketing. She herself is an influencer and she capitalizes on that. She knows a lot of important people.
Mm-hmm. I know that I'm still not going to study, but have you registered for the Embassy Academy?
Yeah.
If not, you see this marriage proposal that I am guiding, I will unguide it because I don't feel it my stomach. I don't feel it good. Absolutely.
So you can see he is talking about her training academy, and he's saying it in a funny manner, but he's also passing a message across. Okay, so these are the kind of strategies you should have for your business. It is very easy to follow some of these things. If you have somebody who is notable and reputable, convince the person. Though for these people, usually she pays them, because I did an extensive study on all these influencers. The minimum amount of money a lot of these influencers are making just to talk about your business is a whole lot of money. They are talking about millions, and that's why they are very, very rich. Despite the fact that they are laughing and joking with you, the amount of money they make from just doing little adverts like this is a whole lot of money. So that's about such digital marketing, having your social media platforms. Okay, so I cannot stress it enough. If you do not have a social media platform, you should. If you are not on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you should. Okay, if it means hiring somebody that is dedicated to that task, you should. If you have the time for it, you should do it. Okay, but this is what eventually brings people to your business, or at least keeps you in the mind of potential customers. Okay, then we're talking about email marketing. Now, email marketing are for the big boys, and I really say that for the big boys because the amount of money you spend for this is not small, but eventually, this one is a long-term strategy. The previous ones I've spoken about, they are short-term. If you want a long-term strategy, then email marketing is the way to go. Okay, most businesses, in fact, I can tell you, 90% of businesses, especially in the hospitality industry, don't really use email marketing. There are very few that do. But if you do use email marketing, it is a very effective means of getting clients, because quite especially those in the working class, at least I'm sure each and every one of you have a Gmail account, and that's the same for a lot of clients worldwide. They all have Gmail accounts or Yahoo accounts, and every single day they check their emails. So imagine if every single day that somebody is checking his email, he's seeing a mail from your hotel, from your business, from your restaurant, from your travel agency, or something. Then definitely, even though he may not click on it, he may not open your mail, he always at the back of his mind. Okay, my Yahoo box and my Gmail box is full all the different subscriptions that I've subscribed to over the years. They keep sending mails every single day and they don't stop. The good thing about it is you can automate it. You can create the emails that you want to send for the next 5 years, and if you keep on sending the emails automatically. Okay. My favorite what do you call it now, email tool that I use is MailChimp. So if you've not heard of MailChimp before, MailChimp is what I use. So if email marketing strategy is what you would like to use, then this is where to go to. All right. So MailChimp is very good. It's very easy to use. The customer service is fantastic. But as I said, it is a service for, I don't want to say for big boys, but you should have a serious budget if you really want to use it. Okay. Because everything is calculated and they operate in dollars. They don't even operate in Naira. All right. So that's for email marketing. Email marketing. Then we'll now talk of paid advertising. Okay, I've already talked about paid advertising. We've already done Facebook ads. I've already shown you the Facebook ads. I've already shown you how to run an ad. So in the world of digital marketing, you have what you call paid advertising. I have what you call organic advertising. So those are the two ways of advertising. Organic means you don't pay for it. You share to your friends. You tell your friends to share. You go to your church. You advertise in your church. You go to your office. You tell them, oh, see, please, follow my page. Follow my this. This is my business. All that is organic. You are not paying anything for it. But if you pay Facebook to run an ad, or you pay Google, or you pay YouTube, that's what you call a paid ad. Okay, so Facebook takes care of that. And Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is owned by the same company. So they are trying to form a synergy of apps. So from WhatsApp to Instagram to Facebook, if you're advertising on one, you're virtually advertising on all three. All right. So it's a very powerful tool to use. I will tell you, it was through paid advertising that I made my first million. I will tell you that. So it's a very effective way of advertising. I've done a lot of business, but scaling my business was because of paid advertising. It allowed me to reach a worldwide audience. I can sit from the comfort of my home and advertise to people in Nigeria, in the US, in the UK, anywhere in the world. I can advertise and I will get clients and I can make money. All right. So then you have content marketing. I've already shown you an example of content marketing from Hilda Bachi's page. Okay, you can see she creates engaging content. Okay, videos and guides that attract and engage your audience. It builds trust. It establishes that your restaurant is an authority in your location. Okay, so you can talk about so many things concerning your business, and people will come down. And then, of course, we now have influencer marketing. So I've talked about this as well, whereby you can get people who are already popular, they already have a following, and you get to talk to them and say, okay, please advertise my business. Okay, but you have to pay them for it. Okay, and usually the money is not cheap, but then again, it depends on how popular they are. There was somebody who I was following on Facebook. He came up with, he always writes a lot of stories, fantastic, lovely stories, and I was just following him. So, and I noticed that when he writes a couple of stories, then he will now advertise something. So I just reached out to him. I said, okay, please, can you advertise my service? How much will he charge? And he told me 5,000 naira. I was so surprised. I said 5,000 naira, and I paid him, and he advertised it. And I know I got some feedback from that. My visibility increased. So it all depends. If it's the real big boys, the celebrities and everything, if you have their contact and you can reach out to them, fine. They are always willing to partner with anybody. It's just that the bigger they are, the more money that they will charge you. But you cannot deny the results that they actually bring, because people trust them, people follow them. By virtue of the fact that they are promoting your business, people will tend to follow and trust you as well. All right, so at this point, I would like us to stop here. We still have a lot to talk about. As I said, the training, even though it's for 3 days, I'm going to go as in-depth as possible. what I'm teaching is stuff that I had to learn, and I paid a lot of money for it. But over time, I've also gained a lot of experience on it as well. And that's what I'm sharing with you. I'm hoping that in whatever capacity that you can use it, whether in your business or as a skill, or you want to use it for other businesses, then this is definitely something you can use. All right, so at this point, I'd like to pause and give the floor open for questions. So if you have any question, please, you are free to ask.
Thank you very much. The lecture has been very interesting,
All
and
right.
I've digested everything so far.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, my son is listening in with me, so I think we'll have class now.
All right, no problem.
I'm sure I'll be looking forward to the next class. Before, I'll probably have questions.
Questions. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No problem at all. All right, then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else with any question or comment? Okay, I think we're all fine. All right. So, as a conclusion, go where the market is going. Okay. A lot of people who become successful, a lot of times, if you ask them, they will say they took advantage of the opportunity that was presented before them at that particular point in time. I see success sometimes as waves. Okay. There are certain waves that come in, and if you don't ride that wave, by the time you decide to step in, the wave has already gone down. And this is the wave of the digital marketing era, or the ICT era, okay, or the online era, or the internet era, whichever way you would like to phrase it. So maximizing your online presence is the way forward. It's not just a question of going online and being entertained. We should also be the ones entertaining. The people who have mastered the art of entertaining and master the art of passing information across, those are the people making the big bucks. Okay, when we see the comedians, making a whole lot of money, buying houses, buying cars, it is not by accident. They've mastered the art of digital marketing. I know of people who are into affiliate marketing, like myself. My mentor, the person who mentored me, as of last year, was making about 250 million just by selling products and services that were not even his own. And then, of course, you have businesses. I know of businesses that I help to market. I know how much they make, and I know how much I make as a result of their own success. So mastering the skill, you will never lose out. It goes with you beyond whatever business that you want to do. I personally can decide not to leave my home for the rest of my life because my presence is online. I don't need to step out. I don't need to go to any office. I don't need to sign in 7:30 for any business because my business is online. I am reachable. I am viewable within this country, outside the shores of this country, everywhere, because I have been able to master some of these digital marketing skills. Okay, so please take the time out. I'm glad you are here in this class. There was funny enough, it's very few of you here. Quite a number of links were sent, but I don't know why they are not here. But nevertheless, the class is being recorded as well. So for those who are not in this class, they'll get to watch it and we can move on. All right, so we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about your target audience. So how to analyze your target audience. We're also going to talk about setting SMART goals. And then we'll also be talking about your competitor analysis. You have to know who you are competing against. Okay, because it's not only you in whatever field that you are in, and then how to design a plan. Okay, so these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. All right. So once again, thank you so very much for being part of this class. You're highly, highly appreciated. Thank you for taking out the time to be here. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. By God's grace.